welcome back. Thank you for joining me. I'm not all by myself anymore. I'm on with Jonathan.
It's just you last night, was it?
All by
Oh, what a
myself.
shame.
All by
Okay,
myself.
well, I'm back now. So,
Back and better than before. I've got some interesting news. And Tim's attacking and being attacked by China. So let's have a look at some of this stuff. So Afghanistan. Right. So after 2 days, 48 hours, it kicks in active players, right? And then players have a chance to enter the game. We're on day 5 now, and I've just noticed that we've got a new player that's joined us, Afghanistan, possibly about a day ago. And Afghanistan are my neighbours, so there's a new active player, and that spells trouble because they'll be organising their troops potentially to come for me, or Kazakhstan or Iran. I think I might be quite a target because I'm right on his border, and so probably quite a threat. So I think we're going to get some pretty serious action going on with Afghanistan very soon. They're building an arms industry level 1 on all their cities, and they're about halfway through. That's why I know it's a new player, because the previous player didn't do that. Arms industry on most of their cities, apart from one. So they'll probably run out of resources or something, but they'll have an awful lot of units that they'll be sort of massing and changing direction. So that'll be interesting. I'm about 53 minutes away from another strike fighter, and we're on secondment, Jonathan, to Tim. I've sent our strikes over to Tim. I've got 1 strike and an air superiority.
yeah, why have we sent so many planes over there?
I don't know. I just got Tim said he needed help, and then we got there too late because China sent a troop to land in Taipei, and he had no one there, and he's lost it. But he did ask us if we could send our planes over, so we did. And so I've changed my target, and I'm going for this one instead. That's nearly on Hong Kong, but he's got a fair old defence. He's got 22 defence points with 3 motorised troops and a combat recon. And China must be chicken oriental. Mental, sending 2 troops after that stag, because their offence is 6, and they're going up a defence of 22. Don't stand a chance, not a cat's chance in hell.
You know what that looks like to me? Those 2 troops were probably on Hong Kong and they were headed towards Hanoi, and now they've turned back to try and claim Hong Kong after Tim's taken it.
Oh,
So, by going on the offensive and taking Hong Kong, it looks like Tim's saved me from a bit of trouble.
oh, good boy. So China was going after you, maybe. Okay.
Possibly. It's kind of hard to tell. It could also just be an inactive player with the computer, just sending units going wherever.
Yeah.
Can have a look at what they've built. Just level 1 arms industries and yeah, level 1 army bases. Nothing really that says that they're not a computer. It's a little bit hard to tell.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. But anyway, Tim's cracking into China, which is great, and he's taken over this island, and then he's done a bit of land grabbing down here. So he's active,
Yeah, he's doing well.
and he's got a destroyer, which is very nice indeed. What you been doing?
I've been gradually taking some more of Myanmar's land over the past couple of days. It's a very long process because there's lots of jungle that my troops have just had to wade through. But we've
Yeah.
taken most of the main cities now, and down south, I've been dealing with this big stack that was sitting just outside Bangkok, getting ready to shell me. I gathered 10 troops together and took him directly head on. He had 6 troops, I had 10, and I've still got 9 of mine. So that difference of a few troops like really did just swing it because they met on neutral ground. In a where are they currently now? I think a forest environment or a mountain. Yeah, they're in the forest. So like even that gives you a defensive bonus. So I attacked Myanmar, so he had a defensive bonus, but just because I had more troops, I've come out on top in that
Yeah.
scenario.
25% less
Yeah.
attack you had.
So Myanmar's gone, Thailand's gone. Just got to clean up some of this land, and then we'll be able to turn our sights on China, whether he's a
Yeah.
computer player or a real human. We'll quickly have all of his land tied up, all of these cities up here.
Yeah.
between me and Tim, and we can move on to support you in the west, or
Yeah.
we could deal with Australia in the south if that is something that crops up.
Okay, great. Um, yeah, or a bit of both.
Yeah,
Australia looked like they were quite active with ships, weren't they? Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. So, yeah, I'd
they're
crack into
building a level
Australia.
2 naval base on every single city.
Everyone. Yeah, it looks like they're quite active. And a level 2 army base in the middle. Um, so they'll have, some advanced units. I'd crack into Australia as soon as you can. Because they were part of
Yeah,
that
it'll be
coalition, weren't they?
something to look into. But even though he's built level 2 naval bases on every city, that certainly doesn't mean that he can make a corvette on every city or a
Yeah.
frigate. Um, so I'm sure he's got designs to build a big and strong navy that will need to intercept eventually. But for now, he probably doesn't have that much. And I'm sure our naval commander Tim can kind of keep up with the pace of churning out those destroyers.
Yeah. Let's have a look. Yeah, he's cracking them out. He's got another one on the go, ready in 9 hours, and he's
And
got
that's the
one
thing, like
already.
you need a level 3 naval base for that, don't you? So
Yeah,
any corvettes that he's going to be turning out, like he could send 20 individual ones, and they'd all be taken out by a couple of destroyers.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Corvettes are absolutely rubbish. It's the hit points that do it. Got 10 hit points, and destroyers have something like 40, I think, just off the top of my head.
Yes, yeah, and they're very weak if they're not in coastal water, if they're in the high seas. So you've got to be careful where you take them. With submarines,
Okay.
it's the opposite. So
I didn't
yeah,
realise corvettes were weak in deep water.
yeah, they actually have they have half the hit points.
Cool. Well, and good job I never go for corvettes then. I've decided I'm actually researching Mobile Sam, and I'm going to be completing that in 13 and a half hours. So that'll be nice to have, but not urgent. I don't think I'm not seeing anyone with any aeroplanes yet. But I've been pumping out. I've got a armored fighting vehicle on the go, 14 hours 52 minutes, and then I've just been pumping out these mechanised infantry units, which are going to be really nice. I've got a strike fighter ready in 47 minutes, and then I've got this strike fighter over here on secondment with my air superiority. I'm going to reclaim them. I don't think I need to have sent them over there for Tim, actually. So, yeah, it's these guys I want to attack. Nearly sewn up Pakistan. The next thing I want to research is going to be the rockets, multiple rocket launchers. They're really nice, and or a destroyer. So rockets or a destroyer, and I definitely want to get a level 3 naval base in Mumbai after I've built level 5's arms industry. So that's going to be in 3 days, 5 hours. So I won't start building a level 3 naval base, Jonathan, in Mumbai. It won't be completed until 4 days, 13 hours. So I'm going to, I'll do destroyers second, and I'll go for rocket launchers next, I think. And I'll queue up an army base level 4. So I've got 2 that are on level 3.
What's your hourly figure for rare materials now?
I thought it would be more. So I'm currently building level 4 arms industry on the rare materials site. Also, I've got a level 2 naval base, which, if you've forgotten, gives you a buff as well on your resources. So it gives you a 10% buff,
Ooh.
5% per level. And I'm only producing 68 an hour on the rare materials.
67 for me.
It's really low, isn't it? It just I wonder if they've changed the ratios on rares, because it just seems like you just get so many less. But that's why I've got Kabul in my sights in Afghanistan, because that's a rare materials site. And did I take one from Pakistan? Can't see one. Ah, no wonder. So the people I've cracked into haven't had any rare materials. So have you taken a rare materials city?
I've taken
Yeah.
Chiang Mai, which
Yeah.
is a Thailand one, and I've also taken Mandalay, which is Myanmar's one. So
Ah,
yeah, but if you have a look on the resource production under the cities, most of your resources come from your home city,
yeah.
which is 1,300 of my production is from there, and only 150 and 109 from the other two, respectively. So yeah, it takes a while. You either need lots and lots of the target city that you want to get the resources from, or you need to really cultivate building up the morale and the arms industries on your home cities. So, I mean, a bit
Yeah.
of both is good, really.
After I've built up level 5 arms industry on the rare materials city, I'm going to build a level 3 naval base because that just happens to be my naval base on the coast. So then I can start building destroyers. And then after that, I'm building a bunker. So the bunkers are coming. Just managing resources, not really building too much at once. The buildings I've got on the go: level 4 arms industry, level 3, a level 1 on a petrol city because I need that to be able to build stuff. It's criteria for building tanks and stuff. Level 3 army base, and then just building a couple of, well, one of each actually: a mech, armored fighting vehicle, and strike fighter. What are you building? And oh, haven't you got your officer by now? Where is he?
Yeah. I've got my officer. He's sitting in Napitao, uh, on the west of my border, and I'll join him up with some of my other stacks. At this point, I'm not really making any new troops apart from strike fighters, and just trying to conserve, especially my supplies, to go towards researching. And
Yeah,
yeah, I've just got this massive bottleneck of rare materials, as we've already said, which is just going to be a little bit tough going forward. But for now, I'm
yeah.
just managing to research one thing, which is the SAM launchers.
There we go, doing the same thing. Exactly the same boat as you, Jonathan. Struggling for rares, but making sure I don't. I'm not building too much now, and I'm conserving my rares. So yeah,
Mm.
just want to make sure I can research that next thing as soon as possible because I've bought all the rares in the shop. There's none left, and definitely want to be researching multiple rocket launchers and just being able to upgrade stuff as well. And every time you build an arms industry or even an army base, it costs you rare materials. So that's why it's so important, I think, to build up your rare materials site. And I've just gone all out for just building arms industries on my rares site. I'm just going easy on all the other arms industries now. I've got them up a bit. I've got everything I need. I think I've got 207 per hour on supplies, 184 on components. What's yours looking like?
Yeah, you can just go through it. I've got 150 on supplies, 114 on components.
114 on components.
114, yeah.
I must have. I mean, I know I started with 8 cities, but haven't you got 2 component cities or?
I have not actually. I've got 2 supply cities, only the one component city.
That's
Yeah,
it. So did you start off with 6 cities or 7?
7, I believe. Just have a quick
Mm,
look. So yeah, 7.
that's strange. Okay,
Oh, hang
so
on, wait. No, 1, 2, 3, 4,
must be
5.
6.
Yeah, must be 6.
Yeah, so when you start off with 7, you get 2 of each. You get the 2 supplies, 2 components. So you're going to be really short of components. So you're going to have to factor that in.
Yeah, generally I don't go towards things like tanks as much. My main
Uh,
source of spending components will be my strike fighters, but
yeah,
supplies, they'll start coming out really quickly because I'm going to be building radars, anti-air, and eventually rocket launchers. And ideally, I'd want
yeah.
to be building one of those three, like all at the same time. Um,
Okay, so that's a
yeah.
good setup for you then. That sounds good. I'm trying to tie up a few wars. I've got one tile here with a little man on. I bashed down with some of my strikes. Just going to go and take that land. with a combat recon and a motorised troop. And that'll stop that war. Sending someone up here to go after him. Or am I? I think I'm waiting for my strike fighter. He's going in there defensively, the mechanised troop. And then, yeah, there's 2 troops there I'm going to take out with my strikes as well. Have another strike soon. In the last episode, I had a really detailed look around at the different coalitions. There's a fairly strong-looking coalition in Europe, but equally one that involves people like Russia, Ukraine, Poland. So they're going to clash into each other. And a scary strong coalition in Africa. Basically, I wouldn't even say the southern tip, the southern half.
Yeah.
Or literally half of Africa is one coalition, and they're going to spread quick. But they will clash into... They'll either go into the Middle East and start to come into my territory. But Saudi Arabia is really strong, so they'll struggle against Saudi Arabia. Or they'll go up into Europe as well, and they're going to clash there. So we're going to have some really good clashes with some really good coalitions. And Brazil are doing their thing as usual. They're spreading out in South America. I don't know what alliances they've got together. Maybe with Argentina, or who knows. And then
it'll be interesting to see what kind of contact we have with the Americas this game. I feel like naturally we'll be sticking to Oceania. That's just on our doorstep. And then once we've taken Asia, we'll be coming against whoever's reached the Middle East first, whether that's the African coalition or the European coalition. We're very naturally going to kind of come up against them when we get to probably Iraq, I reckon. Yeah.
The conflict will come in Iraq because Saudi Arabia looks really active. They've taken over that peninsula now. Looks like they're cracking up at north. They'll probably go after Iraq. I don't think Iraq will be there.
And in our last game where we started off in the Middle East, the whole world just ended up converging on us, right? And there was a Asian coalition which just pushed west and was on our doorstep, as well as all of the Baltic states pushing south, and everyone else coming in through the Mediterranean.
Yeah, and all the Americas joining in as well. It was a real tough one, but we won it. I don't even know how, because there was a gold player as well. It was like it was against all odds. So that was a good series to look at. Check out the channel.
Check it out. This will be a different set of circumstances. Perhaps more challenging because we've got a long way to go to get to where some of the action will be.
We've got a lot of land to cover, but I feel as though we would then be further away, so potentially a bit more difficult to target. And actually, if you think about it, on our west flank, if you look at me first, I've only got one port, and then otherwise it's accessed by land, so it's fairly defensible, I think. But equally, we're absolutely wide open with that sea. So I think we're all going to have to build up a strong navy at some point.
But once we do have a strong navy, there's some very important key points that we can muster to. Near Singapore would be like an obvious location for somebody to send some boats down. And once we can defend that, it means like we can, defend from the rest quite easily. And if somebody's looking to get to Tim's homeland in the Philippines, for example, they might well want to travel through Singapore. So not only can the boats defend against other boats, then they can help defend the land. And then you've got like Sri Lanka, for example, that could be a really important naval base for anyone who's looking to have any kind of land or sea invasion around the area. And then as the more we move into the Middle East, the more the land kind of narrows. You could have some key naval bases somewhere around Tehran, for example. And then, it just becomes more and more defensible for any kind of land invasion. But I think, we're going to need to address whatever navies are coming our way fairly comprehensively. That's going to be the biggest threat.
Yeah, and there's the obvious Suez Canal that cuts off half of Africa and Europe. Although I think the bits of Africa that would be a threat to us are in the southeast and southwest coast. So the Suez Canal isn't relevant to them. More probably Europe and
Yeah, yeah, they could come round the southern peninsula, and who knows? We could get somebody crossing the what's the Pacific or Atlantic Ocean in the east. Well, coming all the way from the Americas, whichever ocean it is,
cool. I
to hit
did
him
do
on
that
the east
once.
side.
I,
Hmm?
I did that once. I sent someone
Yeah.
round the long way, and I think I tried taking one of these little islands like Guam. It was one of the forlorn
Mhm.
hopes, the mission that might save the world.
It
But
was.
don't know. I can't remember if it worked or not. Maybe
What
not.
did you did you go like via the Caribbean, or did you send a unit all the way over the top of Russia? Because I've definitely sent a unit all the way over the top of Russia
I think it
before.
was top of Russia.
Yeah,
Or
yeah, it
yeah,
was, wasn't it? I remember that unit died, but yeah, it's a tactic they'll never see coming
yeah.
if you do trail.
Until they see it coming.
It takes about a week just to get over the top of Russia, which
Yeah,
doesn't actually really make any sense. But there you go.
yeah. But then they never see you coming. So it's going well. Do you know what? It's quite a nice game to play at the moment because I feel quite relaxed.
Hmm.
No one knows we're here, so we don't have the whole world against us. It's a nice vanilla normal game. Reminds me of
Oh,
the
I think
olden
you've got to be
days.
careful what you wish for there. Famous last words.
Yeah. It's a nice game for now.
Very nice.
I'm quite happy with my setup. I think I've done it well. Normally I end up running out of everything, not researching the right things, and then I can't build anything that I want to be building. But I've got it spot on, I think, at the minute. So I've learned from the last few series, and I think this is my 4th or 5th game or something. Can't remember. 4th.
Fourth, I reckon. Yeah.
And I'm getting there. We've got some killer tactics that we use, and we've got some nice, some nice teamwork going on now. Now that we've tried out random stuff as well, just to see what it's like, and so we're working from a place of experience where we've even tried some of the rubbish stuff, but found out why it's rubbish. So we're getting there. Any last thoughts, Jonathan?
No, not from me.
Great. Well, join us in the next episode. It's goodbye from me.
Goodbye from me.
Over and out.